This portion of Lifestyles is sponsored by Gary Price, elder law attorney.
When planning for Medicaid, it may be wise to try to discover how to get started and what steps to take. Gary Price, our expert in elder law, has that guidance. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Happy few days before the 4th of July.
Well, thank you. Same to you.
So, you know, speaking of independence, is an independent thing when you know how to do this. What are the objectives when you're planning for Medicaid?
Yeah, so when initial consultation, which, by the way, no charge.
Free? Okay.
So initial consultation, there's a few things we always seem to talk about, and I want to make sure we talk about. Give them an idea, the client, the idea of the process that you go through when you're applying for Medicaid, the process you have to go through, which is dependent upon their resources. So we talk generally about their resources, so we can kind of talk about the process we would have to go through to get them qualified for Medicaid. So that's certainly an objective, to give them an idea, to let them hear it once. I always say that to them. You're not going to grasp it all, but you're going to hear it the first time. The second time you might get it. The third time you might get it. You may never get it, but we'll get closer each time you hear it,
right? At least you know. Now, are all I never asked you this before, but is all the paperwork an online thing, or are we still working on paper?
No, yes and no. The application we can file online. After that, we're still working on paper and faxing or hand delivering, that sort of thing. So that's one of the objectives is talk about the process. I make sure a second objective is to make sure they've got things in order, like the advance directive. Make sure they've got that power of attorney, and we've got that in place. That's very important, and no one ever leaves my office without us talking about the power of attorney. And then it always comes around to misconceptions. So I had someone the other day say, whatever, I heard that anything in my husband's name, if he's the one going to be applying for Medicaid, anything in his name they're going to take. That's not true. We know that. That's not true. But we talk about the misconceptions, and we talk them down from that to make sure they know better. They know that their assets can be protected.
Well, we've talked about myths before, and it does fascinate me. I don't know if we can ever find the genesis of those kinds of myths, but they're out there, and it's strange how they get started.
Well, here's what I think. I think the myth is that it has to be that way, that they have to take all your money.
Yeah, this is the only way it is, yes.
Now, the truth is Medicaid has taken all the money of families who didn't do anything, who just wrote the check every month when they got the bill.
Right.
The point is, and I always say this, it doesn't have to be that way. So what we hear as a myth is probably a truth from whomever is spreading it. The point is, it doesn't have to be that way, and that's not the way it is when you plan for Medicaid.
Well, and again, that's why, because it is, first of all, you're emotional, you're looking at something that may be a negative in your life, you're frightened, worried, and always knowing the right questions is not easy.
That's true.
When you're upset. So that's why we turn to you to say, how do I begin?
Well, I often ask them, so what have you heard lately? You know?
Good.
And I always end the conversation, don't listen to them anymore. And folks don't listen. Don't listen to the rumors, because most times they're not true.
Well, get the book.
Get the book.
Medicaid in Indiana, it's free, and just call that number. Gary, the number is?
812-475-8444.
Get your book and get to planning. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us.
This portion of Lifestyles is sponsored by Gary Price, elder law attorney.